Hi everybody, this is Osprey from mychartcoach.com, and in this video we're going to take a look at multiple stocks that were in play today. First up here you can take a look at, this was our uh, alert from last night. This was our watch list. This was some OTC stocks. You can see here we've got the big board blockchain stocks. This is the premium watch list. So yeah, for those that want to get alerts and want more information, please come join our premium chat. That's where you can get access to this information. Yeah, so in this video, let's first take a look here at, let's see here. We're going to take a look at what do I have up first here? I have Overstock, OSTK, and yeah, this stock has been breaking out higher. It made a really nice move on. Let's see here. So it made a really nice move on Friday above resistance, and so we were talking about this earlier, and we've been posting updates, and yeah, we actually timed the bounce down here off the 50-day simple moving average, and then yeah, it's just been heading higher, and then today finally is the red flag. So notice the candle that formed today. This is a doji. Notice the long upper wick and the lower wick here. This is signaling indecision today. Bearish Harami cross reversal pattern formed. And so the doji didn't form above the candle, so that would have been a stronger reversal pattern, but this does signal a potential pause in the uptrend. What needs to hold here is EMA4 at 69.91. If you see a drop below that level, the share price could consolidate and you could see 64 tested. So as long as the middle Bollinger Band at 55 holds, the strong uptrend should continue. It just started getting frothy with that push above the upper Bollinger Band yesterday. It's taken a little breather today. As long as EMA4 support holds, that chart is still super strong. Okay, take a look at EBIO. It's up 21% today. It made a nice bullish move above RSI. Notice it's at 61. It still has a lot of room until that 70 overbought level. Now you have Fasto above 80, and then here you've got a nice crossovers on 80X. Notice the black line crossed the red line, the green line crossed the red line. You've got this nice breakout here, and so down here the big bullish development. It was really nice to see. It did close strong. So congrats everyone. It's been in this long sideways channel. We've been charting this for the last couple months since it pulled back down here. Notice there was a gap down here at the end of October and the beginning of November. And so after the gap formed, the share price pulled back and it formed this sideways channel. And it's just been channeling out between basically 75 and 65 for the last 2 months. And then finally today there was a close above resistance, above the top of the channel, which is actually the high close, which is the candle right here. And so the close above, that's signaling more upside potential. Now the key level to break is going to be the 50-day simple moving average at 86. It needs to get above this level, and then it needs to get above the gap. So it has the gap here. So look for potential gap fill. Now if it gets above the 50-day simple moving average and it gap fills and then it runs up and pulls back, that could signal a temporary top. It's going to need to get above all three levels. The 50 simple moving average, the bottom of the gap, and the top of the gap. If it can do that, get above all three, then it could run up to the 100-day simple moving average at 111. Notice there's a PSAR bull flip, the giant volume spike, and then the last time that we made this chart, we showed these bullish crossovers on Mgti, and you could see how the chart was just winding tight. Notice it had the very tight Bollinger Bands, the upper Bollinger Bands, this line, this is the lower Bollinger Band, very tight, and then I have the breakout to the top through the upper Bollinger Band. Many times the stock will push higher when this pattern forms. Okay, let's look at CERC, closed up 17% today, so really nice move. It has this nice uptrend going. It's been pushing higher. This has been a really nice swing trade chart, like longer term swing trade chart. Basically, you've loaded down here on the break above the middle Bollinger Band back in August, and it's been holding the whole time. It bounced off the 50-day simple moving average. The middle Bollinger Band's been holding. You just pretty much can be riding this the entire time if you're a swing trader. Now, if you're a day trader, you've got the upper wick on today's candle, and so if you look at the last couple times that there have been closes above the upper Bollinger Band with the long upper wicks, a red candle is formed next day. Not only that, but this day everybody got really punished on the 28th of November with the gap down open. That's what you hate to see, and that is the risk. Is the market makers could gap this down at the open tomorrow. We'll have to see what happens with pre-market trading, but the key is going to be EMA4 at 223. Notice how that level's been holding since there was a close above on this candle, and so once it breaks below, that's when you could see the $2 level tested. listed. It has a really nice uptrend going. It just had a P-star bull flip. This could break out higher to the next level. We'll just have to see. It was a little pullback. There's profit taken into the close. It's either going to bust out to the next level, or it's going to take a little pause and work back into the band, similar to this action right here and right here. You notice there was a big volume spike. There was the P-star bull flip, like I just said. And then so what we need to do, since it's breaking out, is look at the weekly chart. And so this week it's breaking above this gold line right here, which is the 200-week moving average, currently at 208. You want to see a close above 208 for the week. And then now if you look over here, back in 2016, this June-July level, notice how that was a big support level between 220 and 240, 250. That level is being hit right now. Notice how that's the current resistance level. It has to get through this previous level. What was once support, notice it was support for multiple months. It turns into resistance. So if it can break above this 250, 260 level, then it could possibly make that run up into the threes. Notice that there was big resistance, or big support down here at 360. So that would be the next level. It could run a whole nother dollar higher if it can get above 260. So keep an eye on it. Let's look at Mgti. Everybody's been playing all the blockchain and Bitcoin stocks, and everybody's picking the ones that they love and their favorites, and they're jumping in. And yeah, it's just it's wild to see which ones keep going higher, and to see like which ones people gravitate towards, and what people what the herd tends to buy. And a lot of times people are picking the wrong ones. I hate it that happens. I wish everybody was on the winners all the time. Mgti, I keep posting the same information, and it's super strong uptrend. What do you do when a stock is on a strong uptrend and it keeps riding EMA4 support higher? Look every time it's holding the pink line. You just keep riding, unless you're locking in profits, which is never a bad idea. Nobody, there's no shame in locking in profits. That's that's a good thing to do. But if you continue riding, as long as EMA4 at 560 is holding, it signals more upside potential. I pulled back from $8. You can trade on the way up. You can flip it and work it. This has just been signaling to ride. It's really frothy right now. It's got the RSI at 90. You've got Fasto at 84. The RSI at 90 is really frothy. It could take a breather and work back into the bands. We're just waiting for that. To see when that's going to happen. It's been super strong. We did put out alerts down here when it was in the $2 and it broke above resistance. So. It's up a good monster percentage gainer. And so let's look at the weekly chart. This is going to give us an idea of where this could be headed and what resistance levels it needs to break. And as you can see right here, it's hitting a key level. It's hitting the 2012. Notice this is 2012 down here, resistance, which is the $7 zone. So it has to break above this. It got above the 2016 resistance. I've been showing the weekly chart that showed the 2016 and 2017, and I was showing this cup and handle, and then the top of the cup, and then the top of this jar here, the lid. It broke above that level this week. It's busting out higher, so that's really bullish. You want to see a weekly close above the 440 level, and then if it can get above $7, then it could really get moving. I mean, if you look back here, it's got some good upside. So to show you the potential on the upside, let's look at the monthly chart. Okay, so you notice how this weekly chart, it's kind of hard to look at the data. It's hard to read the candles, and then once you got to the monthly chart, look how it smooths it all out. It makes it much easier to read. And so what you can see here this month, there's a big break above the 100-month moving average at 380. That's the gold line. That's the key level to close above for the month. Now here's the 2012 resistance level. Look how easy you can see it. So it's like I said, it's this $7 zone. If it can close above this level, the 2000 for the month. Now keep in mind, this month's candle will not set until the closing bell on the last trading day of the month. So a lot can change between now and then. Now if it can get above 7, look how it could potentially run up here to this 15 level. That was the big level back here in 2010, 2015. So yeah, this has been really nice. Basically back here in July when it got back above the middle Bollinger Band. I mean, even back here, definitely in July when it was above above the middle Bollinger Band and back above the 50-week moving average, that was the signal, you could ride for a longer term swing trade. And so just keep that in mind, is if candles are above the middle Bollinger Band and the 50-week moving average on the monthly chart, that's a nice strong uptrend. So yeah, so sometimes you can over trade, and the best thing to do is just to keep riding. Okay, let's look at Twmjf. Okay, this is the top dog canopy growth. I'm kind of just bouncing all around in this video with different sectors. Yeah, so this one is Twmjf, WEED for on the Toronto Stock Exchange. And so yeah, so this is busting out. Notice that you've got RSI at 67. So this can cruise higher above 70 on RSI. It can get in the power zone. Look what it's done. The moves it makes above 70. This was all above 70. Check it out, all above 70. So it's not even to 70 yet. So this is just getting going. This is heating up for a potential next push higher. I mean, look at ADX over here. Plus DI's way down here. Okay, so on previous runs, look how high of a level it was able to get to on previous runs, all the way up to 60. So right here at 34, it's got a lot of room to run. This is just heating up. Now is it going to follow through? We'll see. Now it's on blue sky breakout mode. Okay, so what happened was it formed this symmetrical triangle within this sideways channel. It really sideways channeled out, and then going into the end of November into December, it got this had a nice triangle pattern that was forming. And then on this candle right here, I'll show you the close above on the 11th of December. This signaled that it was wanting to head higher. Notice how the red line, the descending resistance line, turned into support. That was a major bullish signal. The middle Bollinger Band held. The candles got back above the dotted purple line, which is at 1496, the key level to hold. As long as that level is holding, the uptrend is intact. And so what happened was it closed here yesterday just above resistance, high close horizontal resistance. We'd been looking for the longest time for a close above the November 13th closing price, and that did happen yesterday, ever so slightly, but bam, look, it followed through today. That is your signal, the close above high close resistance. All these candles failed to do it. That many times the stock will head higher. Once again, the theory is proven correct. And then now we've got this upper wick hitting the key resistance level 17. Okay, so this is the all-time high. It made a new all-time high today. Look at the upper wick on today's candle. It busted above. That's a new all-time high. And so this has got to get above now this November 7th 17 price. And if it could turn that into support, this is breaking out higher. So yeah, it's got the volume picking up. It has, look at the Mgti bull cross just started in the 1226 and 9. When it just crosses over, it signals the possible start of a next push higher. Look on the 30th. Okay, so that was the start of a Mgti bullish crossover, and look at the run that followed. So this could be the start of the next push higher. Is this heading to the 20s? Possibly. I mean, they got a deal. They have a deal with Constellation Brands, the maker of Corona. So there's big money behind this. Let's look at Prmcf, Coronas Group, another Canadian federally licensed marijuana company who has a beautiful chart going right now. Okay, so we've been posting this thing. I'm showing you the weekly chart. It's up 10% for the week. Okay, so sometimes you have to keep in mind that base hits add up. It's only up 10% for a week, but look at these candles. I mean, they are just walking it higher. Okay, look how long they've been walking it higher. The middle Bollinger Band turned into support back here in August. You could have loaded on this second close back above the middle Bollinger Band on the second week of August and been riding the entire time. Look, there has not been a close below EMA4 the entire time. As long as that level is holding, just keep riding. If you're a longer term swing trader, if this is an investment, in my opinion, these Canadian marijuana stocks that have a federal license are investable. They have a lot of upside potential. This is the infancy of a brand new industry that they are legalizing marijuana in Canada for the entire country in July of 2018. These guys are in the driver's seat right now, so they're only going to grow and get bigger. Okay, so right now this is cruising, and so yeah, just showing it to you. big, huge volume. Notice how the volume's picking up as it's heading higher. You know, once it gets up into $5 and $7, that's when institutions can start buying. So a lot of times you'll see stocks really get more juice when they start hitting those higher levels, because a lot of institutional investors cannot invest below certain levels. Now, some cannot invest, but you know, I'm not certain on all the rules right now, because Canadian companies are federally licensed, so they're much safer way to go than the U.S. companies right now. Okay, let's look at Digaf. Okay, this is stock has made a beautiful run, right? It's been on the multi-day run, and today it even closed up another 8%, and it was up much higher levels. I mean, it was really cruising good this morning. It hit above $1, and then it formed, you know, it started pulling back. That upper wick after the gap up open, notice there's a gap, there's a space between the close yesterday and the open today, and then it ran up, and when it started forming the wick, you know, that's a signal to lock in gains. You know, it's getting frothy. It made a huge move. That yesterday's candle busted through the upper Bollinger Band. All you're looking for after that is a reason to lock in gains for that reload lower, and this gave it to you. You know, I pointed out before how, you know, many times stocks pull back into the bands, and that's what could happen here. Similar to back here on the 27th of November, it closed above the upper Bollinger Band, red candle followed, it worked its way back in, and so that looks like that's what could happen here. This is bearish doji star reversal pattern. It's a very strong reversal pattern. Anytime you see a doji form during an uptrend, this is an uptrend, especially after a gap up open, especially above and up the upper Bollinger Band, which is at 60. Those are all the red flags. Everything signaled to lock them in, go to the sidelines, be glad you got some gains here, and then look for the reload lower. Keep working it as long as the uptrend is intact. Right now, EMA 4 at 57 is the first support level to hold on a pullback. That's a big drop between 75 and 57. It could come down and hit 57 and keep going, or it could go all the way down and test 31. You never know. It could push higher and break above $1. Right now, you know, all we're doing is following the charts. The thing is the ticker symbols change, but the patterns never do. What we do is we follow the patterns. We're about the patterns, and so it's just if you are disciplined and you follow the patterns consistently, then you will have success. If you keep following it over and over, you know, it's when you go against the patterns, that's when it starts working against you. Okay, let's look at Btsc here. So it did close down 8% today. I'm showing you this chart because a lot of people are in this, looking at this, wondering what the heck am I going to do, and so check it out. This is what's going on. This is the 15-minute chart. All right, so it's in a sideways channel. Check it out. This is a sideways channel. You know, it's got the tops up here, you know, around 35. This is the 35, and then the bottoms down here, you know, you have the 27 low, and then you have this 28 zone that it's been holding. And so it's got the, you know, with the 15th, you know, it's making this double bottom right here. And what's going on right now is it has all the moving averages are all lined up on this chart. And so today it closed above the middle Bollinger Band. That was key, 0.294. It needs to stay above that level. And then it needs to get above these moving averages. If it can get above the 150 simple moving average here, the green and gold line, if it can get above 31, once it's above, once you see it above 30, once it's at 32 and above, that's when it could really get moving. Notice how that's the descending resistance line, and so we're looking for a break above 32 to send it back up to 34.50. Once it gets above 34.50, then it can get moving again. Okay, so it looks like the chart's setting up. If it fails to hold on to 30, it really needs to stay in this 30 level, then it has to hold 28.5. If it breaks 28.5, then you're looking at 27 on deck. So the chart's set up. You notice there was a PSAR bull flip down here, the green dots flip below the candles. You know, you have a bullish crossover on Mgti on both time frames. It closed above the middle Bollinger Band. Everything's heating up. It just has to get above that 31.4 resistance level to head higher. Okay, take a look at WRIT. This is another one of those crypto plays that are on the OTC. We just have you know, been finding play after play that has been following through. You know, they've been doing really well, and so yeah, we keep on trying to share with you what we can find. And yeah, WRIT is up 31% today. Notice that they did have some crypto news here. You know, Pelicoin, whatever that is, cryptocurrency platform. Okay, so yeah, so they're all pumped up on it. So they put out their crypto, you know, PR, and yeah, now it's moving. And so look at it's on a multi-day run. It's on a 2-day run, and it's currently hitting a key resistance zone from back here in July. And so if it can get above that, Then we're looking at 36 is the next big level. That was this high close from back here in early August. And then if it can get above 36, it could run back up there to 54. To me, it looks like they're filling the jar. Now, are they going to fill the jar in one straight shot? I'm not sure. They did that pretty much back here in August. They could do that again, or they could pull back into the bands. If they pull back into the bands, since today's candle closed well above the upper Bollinger Band and it is hitting that 2930 resistance zone, you want to see the 100-day simple moving average hold. And notice it's lined up with the EMA 4 at 21. As long as 20 holds on a pullback, that could be a good reload for the next launch higher. Now, if it breaks above 30, that's going to signal potentially that it wants to bust higher, and then we'll be looking for 36 for people that are looking to possibly jump in. Keep in mind, it's always risky to jump in after multiple days. Sometimes it's best to wait for that pullback. Okay, talking about stocks that are running and breaking out or whatever, look at Qspw. This is another one we alerted at much lower levels, and yeah, you can see down here it really broke off and it got parabolic, and we alerted it before it broke out. So I just want everybody to know that, just that I'm not BSing you. I try to do the best that I can every day to bring everybody the best plays that I can find, and this one was setting up. It had formed the downtrending channel. I showed you a stock score chart when I alerted it, but notice the candle here on Friday was the close above resistance. The closing price on this candle was the key level to break. It closed above. I signaled to everybody that it was in play. Yesterday it followed through, and I put out alerts that yeah, it's following through. And then look at today, bam, huge explosion. It ran all the way up to 6.5. That might have been a fat finger, but it was down here again. We put out alerts. It was around 2, and it ended up closing up at 3.5. So keep an eye on it. If you look here at this chart and we go out a little bit, you can see, for one, it's getting some really good volume compared to what it's had in the past, and you can see it's coming up and it's hitting these levels from back here in 2012, and so this is going to be the big resistance zone. Can it get through this 6 cents? You've got the 6 to 8 cents here. You notice the volume bars. The volume was very light back then. So yeah, we're going to see if it can work its way through. It's hitting this cluster from June of 2012, and if it can get through this zone and work its way through and get above 6, it could keep moving. So keep an eye on it. They could keep pushing it higher. Let's look at DNAD. This is another one that rocked it out. Okay, so we put out alerts on this thing, and then I put out some alerts yesterday on this that it was breaking resistance. I do an OTC scan every day, and I post plays in our chat every day, and I try to share those with everybody. And so yeah, so this one was setting up, and then today, bam, it had the big breakout. So keep in mind that when they break out and it's a low volume play, that when the volume dries up, they can be difficult to sell. This did run all the way up to 5 cents and pull back. If you take this out as well, you can see it came up and it hit the it had a lot of volume, a lot of trading here. Not necessarily volume, but there was a lot of back and forth trading here between 2 and 4. So it's hitting this resistance zone here. If it can get above 4, then it could push higher, and you could see a run up there to 6. As you can see, it was as high as 17 cents from back here in 2014. So it looks like the chart is really starting to heat up. This could be another big push. Okay, let's look at Vpor. This stock had a big gap up open today. It's been in an uptrend, and then today it had the gap up open and it formed the spinning top. Notice the small real kind of body with the upper and lower wicks, the big gap. The gap is a red flag. It could drop down to 2 cents to fill that gap. There was a giant volume spike today. Keep an eye on it. Some of these plays that have had this pattern have broken out higher. Notice that it was trading as high as up here at 6 and 7 cents back in March and April, and so yeah, so this could keep moving higher. Keep an eye on it. It needs to bust above 3. 3 is the next big resistance level, and then it's got to get above the 3.5, and then up here at 3.7. If it gets above 3.7, it could really get moving. So keep an eye on it. Another one to keep an eye on is Vate. This one is a hemp company, and so notice that I was talking about the spinning top. This stock formed a gap up open with the spinning top yesterday, and notice how it broke out higher today. And so that's a very similar pattern to this pattern right here. So notice how it's the gap up open spinning top, and then you have the same pattern here, gap up open, spinning top. And this broke out higher, so maybe VPOR will follow the pattern. Notice that this as well was at much higher levels at the exact same time. It was up there, pretty much the exact same time. And that's what happens. What you'll find is that they'll run the same kind of stocks at the same time. So we look for the stocks that are running, and what we look for is volume and stocks that are breaking above resistance. And then one more to look at here is FERN. Yeah, and this one is a cryptocurrency play, and so it's heating up as well. It's got an uptrend going. It's holding EMA. It's holding the 9-day simple moving average. What we're looking for is a break above 0.0028. Notice how it closed right at that level. That was the closing price from Friday. Okay, and then it had that shakeout yesterday, and then today it's back at that level. So if you see a break above 0.0028, that should be a signal that it wants to head higher. Notice it had the big volume spike on Friday. So I think this stock's setting up, and it could make a bullish move. So keep an eye on Fern. All right, thank you very much for viewing this video. If you like this video, please hit the like button, and please subscribe to the YouTube channel. That really helps. I appreciate it. And yeah, come check out our chat. I'll post a link on the YouTube page. Thank you.